Hello, my lovelies. I want to talk to you guys about forgiveness because I know it's hard to forgive, truly forgive. When you're doing the spiritual work and you really go deep with yourself, bottom line comes down to forgiveness. And people throw that word around like it's so simple. And we think we let things go. And yet when we start to see how it keeps showing up, that you're really doing the work, it's like, wow, there's so much to release or so much to purge. I want you to know. I want to walk you through forgiveness. Only because I know what the process, how difficult it can be. But here goes. You realize you're not being as loving as you want to be because something about the dynamics of this relationship has changed you, how you see them, how you feel about them, how you engage with them. You may not know it, because you go about your day and you go about the habitual ways of interacting. But then something happens, they'll say or do something at the right time when you've just lost your balance just slightly, and it was enough to tip the scales. And now you're triggered. Now you got memories. Now you got emotions backing it up. Now you have all these thoughts racing in your head. Now your body feels uptight or anxious or hostile. And you respond to this person now. Not in your loving nature, but in your defensive nature, victim nature, fear nature, protective nature, angry nature, emotional nature. So it's like it could be you're emotionally reactive or you're critically expressive. In other words, you may not show feelings. You may suppress your feelings and just start using your mind to express yourself, to let it be known that you're not happy right now. So going forward, this can lead to critical expression. This could lead to sarcasm. This could lead to a full-out, blown-out argument because you'll start asking questions or you'll start making statements and the person will ask questions and then the questions will trigger more out of you. And as you start to do that, you're unraveling the problem, but you're never quite getting to the core. And that's the issue. You get to the argument, you agree to disagree, and you stay resentful. Or you submit to the person so that you can stop the argument, they win, but that means you lose. So now you're resentful. Or you assume and you create a new story in your head to say it's fixed and believing it to be fixed. But it surprises you later when you find out that you mentally tricked yourself. You tricked yourself into creating another fucking fantasy bubble in your head, and that fantasy bubble will burst because that trigger will be triggered again. Okay? So once you find out that you have this pattern and you find out that you've been doing this for so long about this same subject all along, the arguments will cease to stop. Or, cease to continue. Because at this point you're realizing, oh, here we are again. What's the bottom line? The bottom line, if we would just stop with all the excuses, just stop with all the stories, and just get to the bottom line. The bottom line is this, people, and this is why we don't forgive, because we're so afraid to admit this. And this is what it is. It's I am hurt that you are not what I believed you were. Or I am hurt that I am not who I thought I was to you. The belief is the part, the structure that breaks down. That's the part that we don't let go. We can let go of the idea, we can let go of the feeling, we can suppress the feeling, and we can suppress the thoughts. But you know what you cannot really suppress? It's the belief. The belief is what keeps you stuck. The belief is what keeps you there, because it's the unwillingness to let go of the belief. You're unwilling to let go of the story you were holding on to. So, example, you fall in love. Fall, okay? Keyword, of course. If you're going to fall in love, you fall. So you get in a partnership, you see this person, you see their lights, you fall for what you see on the external. That means what they express with their mind, with the mindset. Then you feel how they feel, and you connect with them on a vibration. And how they act, and how that goes in harmony with how you are. And it starts off really great. But because we're always giving our best when we meet someone, we're always showing the best up front. And people have other motives sometimes that we're unaware of. You don't know why that person is interested in you truly. They're only telling you what you want to hear. Or they're only telling you what they believe in that moment. If they don't know themselves, then they don't know what the hell they're doing. So the forgiveness comes in realizing that you cannot expect a person to know themselves. You have to know yourself, period. Because knowing you, now you know what you need to know about them to establish the right boundaries, to establish the right relationship, to establish the needs that you're getting met from this. Because you're not going to lie and say, I don't need anything from you. Then what the hell do you need the relationship for? The relationship showed up. It showed up. You manifested the relationship. That means we're working together. We're energetically working together for something here. But whatever your motives are behind that is what matters. And not knowing what their motives, they could tell you that they're the same motives. But it may not always be, because they may not be as conscious as you are, or you may not be as conscious as they are. And you might think you know what you want, and you really don't. Because you might think you're going into this partnership because you think they're going to fulfill this need A or this want B, and it twists on you. In other words, you go for this person based on your wants. Ooh, I like. Ooh. Usually that's how it is. We go based on our eyes. I mean, like, your eyes see what they like, and it's like, I like, I want, period. You get what you want, and you got what you want. Now that shit ain't the same, because they are who they are, and you don't know that they were coming to you with what they want. They saw what they wanted, and they got what they want. So now here you are, bubble A and bubble B. When that person starts to continuously show you who they are, that bubble you created about them is going to slowly dissolve. And that's when you cannot cope, because now you're seeing reality for what it is, and it fucks with your head because it doesn't fit your bubble of them. And that's where you get disappointed, and that's where you get resentful, and that's where you start acting foolish, and that's where you start fucking it up. And that's where you start blaming. And that's why I say fucking it up, because we do not blame. It cannot be the blame game anymore. We can't keep blaming outside of ourselves. We got to take responsibility for the relationships that we've created up to this point in time. We may not be able to fix what happened in the past, but we can definitely be willing to truly forgive and let go. The problem with that is most of us don't want to truly let go and forgive until we see proof that the other person is truly willing to let go and forgive too. So it's like, okay, I'll be willing to let go and forgive you, but I got to make sure that you're willing to let go and forgive me too. And we'll start a clean slate. Clean slate would mean From here on out, let's redefine our intention. Let's redefine our boundaries. Let's redefine our goal and why we are coming together here. And coming together here would mean really, truly letting go of the trespasses, really, truly letting go of what you feel you got gypped on what you feel you got betrayed on what you feel you got unaccepted on. That shit is not about them. Those were the needs that you were working through within you that you thought were going to get met through this person. And this person is not the one to do that for you. This person is only there to reflect for you what you're healing. We're here, people, as human. Our human experience is our undoing of the ego, undoing of this physical self, realizing we're not the physical self, period. Understanding that all it is the soul having this human experience, this story here and now of the journey called your life. And in that journey called your life, you came here to realize that what you thought you are, your physical experience, your third dimensional reality, is none of it. It's just the result of your spirit. When you wake up to that reality in the delusion, the bubble, you know who you are. But in order to do that, you have to be willing to see all of you. And most of us don't want to see all of us. And we get to the place where we could accept that, okay, this is how I think, this is how I feel. But now we don't realize that we have these boundaries still. And the more intimate you become with you, the more opportunities to be intimate come to you. To test your own boundaries, to see how deeply vulnerable you can be with another. Truly loving with another, meaning that you don't have an idea, you're just present with them. You don't have an emotional dependency, you just love for the sake of loving them. And you're just open because you're trusting, because you can feel, because you're there. It's mutual. It's mutual. And that's I feel like what we have been longing for, in a sense, within ourselves. At least maybe my own soul has always felt a sense of just truly being understood and loved, holistically. Meaning, how deeply can you let go of yourself in the presence of another human being, or even in your own presence? You know how hard it is for some people to be fully loving of all their life, all the parts, all of it, and still feel blessed. I don't want to say blessed. Still feel fulfilled and grateful that they're present and here and now, alive. Meaning, your spirit, it's like the avatar being in that world. The realization like, wow, I get to experience this world. I get to experience it. But if you haven't forgiven, you're still holding on to all this karmic ties and all these, entanglements, you're not fully present, and you cannot reap the beautiful benefits of being in this reality just for the sake of enjoying and playing in it like a child would have played in a world that is just supported and loving and blissful. And now I get it. I know. Life is not like that. I know. Life is not. That to most people, that's just a fantasy. But here's what I'm trying to say. This is the reality you can live in within you. And then the world outside, no matter how others out there see it, no matter what is being done and undone, you can live in that state because presently every interaction that comes is an opportunity now to grow you and to see what comes into your experience, what's being manifested into your experience, and the types of people and the journeys and the intentions you're creating from the beginning. You're walking on this earth with your feet on the ground, planted firmly, knowing that your spirit is here now, having this experience to fulfill your highest desire. So please, in order to do so, love and forgive yourself. Truly, truly look at how you keep yourself limited mentally because you still hold beliefs that are holding you down. Look at your feelings. Really sit with them. Instead of playing on your phone, or instead of going out with your friends, instead of escaping you, staying stuck and having conversations all day, talking to people, being in this world. Shut up. Just shut up. Sit down. Sit in that silence inside without distraction. Tune in, breathe, feel, let be that moment. Forget the worries, forget the fears, forget the expectations, forget the responsibilities, find the time and space where you can do this every day, where you let go of this reality, where you're not the mom, where you're not the husband, where you're not the parent, or the spouse, or the employee, or the boss, or the caregiver, or the lover, or, let go of all the parts that you have to be in this reality. Let that go and give yourself the time to just be the spirit. Be the spirit and feel, gauge, is my spirit truly experiencing its fullest? Or is there a sensation within of loss? Or is there a sensation within of any poverty mindset? I'm not good enough. I'm not lovable enough. I'm not accepted enough. There's not enough. When you realize that all of that is an illusion, when you can own your divine power and realize, I have always been more than this 3D reality, beyond this 3D reality, then this 3D reality becomes a field to live and create and just show the universe the colors that you came with, the expressions that come from you, from the depths of the pain that you've experienced to the heights of your visions that come from beyond you. Let that funnel through you. Let that come through you from your vessel expressed outwardly. Clear your space of all the toxicity that still remains so that you can forgive yourself. Because when you forgive you 100%, and it may not be 100% to most people in this lifetime, but trust that the more you can surrender and realize that there's nothing to forgive, but the ego thinks it has to. The ego thinks it has to punish itself for all the suffering it's done, and then it just keeps creating more suffering. Stop creating suffering. There's nothing to suffer about. Just be happy. Just be grateful. Just realize you're here. Realize you have a purpose. Realize who you truly love. Are they with you? Are they here now? Let them know it. And if they're not, can you reach out and say, I love you? And let them be on their journey where they are? Let them be on the journey where they are. If they're with you, they're with you. And if they're not, bless them, let them be. Send them love. Send them, the connection is never gone. There is no loss. We're always connected. We are all connected some way or another. We are all parts of a whole. And we all have our our divine purpose to fulfill. And that could be just sharing your wins, sharing your losses, sharing your golden nuggets of wisdom, that all of it had to be for you to be aware enough of your spirit, for you to understand that you overcome these things only to grow deeper and wiser within. This is a never-ending process. So don't beat yourself up. Don't hold yourself down to fulfill someone else's vision. Just trust and love yourself as much as your heart can handle. Because trust me, it can handle much more than you're aware of yet. So I hope this inspires. I hope this brings you understanding of yourself, a little more light, if anything, into your darkness, if you're in the darkness, or more inspiration if you're already feeling your calling. I will connect with you guys soon, and I hope you enjoyed this. Blessed be, my friends. Take care.